So in order to rake in millions of dollars in profits, or in some instances, billions of dollars in profits, internet service providers, they have to push for policies that the overwhelming majority of the American people just don't support. So we saw a couple of weeks ago how AT&T actually funded an Astroturf campaign. They teamed up with a Democratic Party think tank, the Public Policy Institute, to basically make it seem as though the public was in favor of a law that secures net neutrality, when in actuality, this law does not secure net neutrality. The way to save net neutrality is through the Congressional Review Act, but they funded an Astroturf campaign in order to persuade members of Congress that the public actually doesn't want that. Now, the reason why they have to do these Astroturf campaigns is because nobody supports what they're pushing. The American people don't support what they're pushing, so there's no way that they could possibly muster up the grassroots support to help push for their agenda, because they have an agenda that only benefits them. So we saw now another instance after the AT&T debacle showing that another internet service provider was willing to fund an Astroturf campaign, but this time not to defeat net neutrality, to defeat movement towards a public broadband system in one city. So according to Kieran McCarthy of the Register, cable biz Fidelity Communications has been forced to admit it was behind an astroturfing campaign against the city-run fiber network in America's Midwest. The campaign, titled Stop City Funded Internet, started last month with a website and accompanying social media handles, and has been a persistent critic of efforts by West Plains, Missouri to expand its homegrown broadband network to include more businesses and even residential customers. Who exactly is behind the campaign has been the subject of intense interest, with the campaign's main website revealing only that it was funded by, quote, a collection of fiscally conservative Missourians. However, one enterprising local, videographer Isaac Protiva, was able to uncover the truth. Cable company Fidelity Communications, which offers internet access in 5 states, including Missouri, and boasts 115,000 customers. The ISP had paid a marketing outfit based in Arizona to carry out the campaign. How did he figure it out? The marketing company screwed up when it named materials on StopCityFundedInternet.com. Specifically, 2 images on the site were spotted revealing Fidelity as a client. Incredibly, one was the site's main header image called Fidelity SCFI website v2.jpg. The second image was on a privacy page and was hosted on a server called fidelity.dmwebtest.com. Talk about a smoking gun. That server's domain name led back to DM Web Dev Group, based in Scottsdale, Arizona, owned by marketing veterans Martin Lakin and David Ammerman. So there we have another internet service provider caught red-handed funding an Astroturf campaign against the people. Since they don't have people on their side, this is what they do. They pretend as though people are on their side with these Astroturf campaigns. If you can't do grassroots, you do Astroturf. Fake grassroots. So it's just ridiculous. And the reason why I'm talking about this story, obviously, it's to shit on Fidelity Communications. They should be ashamed of themselves. But in our push for public broadband, I want you to be cognizant of the reality of the situation. This is going to happen if you fight for public broadband in your city and it actually gains momentum. This is the type of shenanigans that will ensue, and they're probably contributing to politicians in that city to make sure that they buy them off, and they buy not just loyalty, but they buy people who are not willing to oppose them, even if they disagree with their agenda. So if you want public broadband, it's going to be a hell of a fight. You're not just going to be able to pressure your city council and get it implemented. You're going to have to fight tooth and nail, because special interests like internet service providers don't want that, because that existentially threatens them. I mean, what public funded broadband is to internet service providers is what Medicare for All is to health insurance companies. And so Fidelity tried to make sure that they crushed this effort to move towards public broadband, but unfortunately for them, and fortunately for everyone else, it backfired and they were busted. So anytime you see something that looks fishy, if you see a so-called grassroots campaign that is pushing for something that's just incredibly unpopular and idiotic, unless they're an executive at a company, chances are the ISP is behind it. And that's not just true for internet service providers, it's true for other industries as well. They're willing to play dirty, which is why we have to fight them tooth and nail. So this is what we have to expect if we are going to bring up public broadband to our city council. But guess what? We're still going to do it anyway. We're still going to push for that, and we don't give a damn about what these internet service providers want, because at the end of the day, grassroots support is always more powerful than Astroturf, because Astroturf is hollow. It's fake. People can come out in numbers and show that they exist and show that they support a policy. Astroturf campaigns can never have that type of impact. It just never can, because it's not real. So shame on Fidelity, and kudos to the city council for actually considering public broadband. It's incredibly bold and progressive, and it would be a permanent solution to save net neutrality. This segment of the Humanist Report was brought to you by 7coffeeroasters.com. They're a minority-owned small business in Seattle, and they specialize in roasting unique and delicious coffee that's not actually roasted until you've placed your order. And the best part is that they actually ship out all orders within 24 hours, so you get your coffee and it still tastes fresh when it arrives. And to boot, they're also a progressive company that pays their workers a living wage and actually cares about the country. So to support them and experience the deliciousness of their coffee, you can check out 7coffeeroasters.com.